Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to get the latest updates.
Over the past few days, a few chief ministers, including Yogi Adityanath, Manohar Lal Khattar and Shivraj Singh Chauhan, have announced that they will bring in laws to curb what they call love jihad. So this KYC on Know Your Constitution episode is about a case that came to be known as the love jihad case back in 2017-18, before the Supreme Court stepped in and emphasized on the constitutional right of a person to choose who they want to marry. The case that I'm talking about involved a girl named Hadia. Hadia's original name was Akhila Ashokan, but she converted to Islam during her medical studies, changed her name, and married one Shafin Jahan. When her father found out about the marriage, he filed a petition in the Kerala High Court alleging that Hadia had been misled and forced to become a Muslim. He also alleged that Hadia's husband had links to extremist Muslim organizations. Hadia, on her part, maintained throughout the High Court proceedings that her conversion to Islam, as well as her marriage to Shafin Jahan, was out of her own will. But the High Court called the marriage a sham in May 2017. It went to the extent of saying that Hadia's marriage, being the most important decision in her life, can only be taken with active involvement of her parents. However, the Supreme Court set aside the High Court judgment, ruling that the High Court could not have annulled Hadia's marriage while deciding her father's petition. It also asserted that the right to marry a person of one's choice is an integral part of the right to life and liberty under Article 21 of the Constitution. The Supreme Court referred to several of its past judgments which had also emphasized on an individual's right to choose. For example, in the 2017 Right to Privacy judgment, the Supreme Court had spoken about a person's autonomy and freedom to make decisions on important matters that concern their life. While ruling that the right to privacy is a part of Article 21 of the Constitution, the court said that it is a person's choice as to who enters his house, how he lives, and in what relationship he wants to be. The privacy of the home, it said, must protect family, marriage, procreation, and sexual orientation. In another 2018 judgment, the Supreme Court had also explained that our autonomy as people is founded on the ability to decide on what to wear and how to dress, on what to eat and on the food that we want to share, on when to speak and what we speak, on the right to believe or not to believe, and on whom to love and whom to partner, and to freely decide on other aspects of our daily lives. In the Hadia case as well, the Supreme Court now observed that the law may regulate the conditions of a valid marriage. For example, the law can set the valid age for marriage, but it asserted that the society has no role to play in determining our choice of partners. Now, Diwali is just around the corner, and like every other year, concerns regarding the worsening air quality in several parts of the country are being widely spoken about. In fact, the Delhi government has also announced a ban on the sale, purchase and bursting of firecrackers. So the next KYC episode is about the story of the firecracker ban in India, which began with a petition filed by 3 children back in 2015. 2 of the petitioners in the case were actually 6 months old and one of them was 14 months old. Of course, these were filed on behalf of these children by their fathers, who said that they were really concerned about the health of their children because of the severe air pollution in Delhi. While the case was being heard, the court emphasized on the government's duty to ensure a healthy environment in light of Article 48A of the Constitution and a citizen's duty to ensure the same under Article 51AG of the Constitution. Article 48A is a part of the Directive Principles of State Policy and makes it the state's duty to protect and improve the environment and to safeguard the forests and wildlife in the country. Article 51AG makes it a citizen's fundamental duty to protect and improve the natural environment, including forests, lakes, rivers, and wildlife, and to have compassion for living creatures. The court was also confronted with the submission that bursting of firecrackers is a religious practice followed by Hindus from time immemorial, and therefore this was a practice protected under Article 25 of the Constitution. As I've told you before, Article 25 protects the freedom of religion in India. But the Supreme Court said that even if burning of crackers during Diwali is a part of a religious practice under Article 25, Article 25 is still subject to Article 21. This basically means that if a particular religious practice threatens the health and lives of people, it cannot be protected under Article 25. The court said that it will have to therefore perform a balancing act of sorts by allowing such a practice subject to those conditions which would ensure negligible effect on health. And this is exactly what it did. The court did not ban firecrackers altogether, but it imposed several conditions on bursting them. For example, it said that only green crackers should be manufactured and sold. It also said that on Diwali or other festivals like Gurpurab, when firecrackers are usually burned, it should only be done between 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. throughout India. On Christmas and New Year's Eve, it said that the firecrackers could be burst from 11:55 p.m. to 12:30 a.m. only. But it later allowed southern states to burst firecrackers in the morning, subject to a 2-hour window. The court has since been issuing several orders on similar lines in this case, overseeing the plans submitted for formulation and deployment of green crackers. It also banned use of chemicals like barium nitrate in the manufacture of crackers. So it is only this year that India might finally have its first Green Diwali, with manufacturers in Sivakasi producing environmentally friendly fireworks and green crackers finally being available in enough numbers for sale. But different state governments have also begun issuing their own orders. For example, Odisha and Rajasthan governments have issued notifications prohibiting sale and use of fireworks altogether. In the latest development in this story, the National Green Tribunal has now stepped in and will now be looking into the need to ban fireworks in 122 cities across the country which have high air pollution levels. Can suspects of a crime be produced before the media? In an important judgment, the Madhya Pradesh High Court has ruled that doing this actually violates the fundamental rights of these suspects. Interestingly, the case was brought to the court by a man whose photographs after his arrest were published in newspapers and social media, projecting him as a hardcore criminal. But it was soon found out that he was innocent and that he was arrested by mistake in place of another man with a similar name. The court was then told that the Madhya Pradesh government had issued a circular back in 2014. This circular spoke about protecting the fundamental rights of the accused on one hand, but also allowed details of the accused to be made public in certain circumstances. So, for example, it said that the accused as well as the victim can be produced before the media after their police statement has been recorded. The High Court, however, found this to be self-contradictory and set aside such clauses. In doing so, it emphasized on the right to privacy, dignity, and reputation being an integral part of the right to life and liberty under Article 21 of the Constitution. It said that even if a person is a hardcore criminal, his privacy, reputation, and dignity cannot be violated unless there's a reasonable restriction under law that allows this to be done. The court also spoke against publishing a photograph of a criminal or parading him in public before he's actually convicted by a court. It said that while doing him may defame him in the society, but it will never act as a deterrent. The court asserted that a person is presumed to be innocent unless and until he is actually convicted and proven guilty. It then ruled that by producing victims and suspects before the media, the police not only violated the fundamental rights of the suspect under Article 21, but also encourages media trials. The court in fact said that even if a person is a hardcore criminal, his details or history sheet or surveillance information needs to be kept discreet, and that there is no question of posting photographs of history sheeters even at police stations. The High Court also had an advice for the police officials. It said that instead of tapping its own back by disclosing the identity of suspects in print, social or digital media, the police should instead concentrate on timely appearance of the police witnesses before the trial court so that the guilt of a person can be established well within time. This is Apurva Mandhani for The Print. Don't forget to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more such videos.